Welcome to Jerry Brewer Alumni Stadium. Tonight, the Jasper Wildcats in Game 2 of the 2022 season against the Evansville Harrison Warriors. The Wildcats with their win over Evansville Memorial last week, and the Evansville Harrison Warriors were beaten by Evansville Rights 39-8. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider along with Bob Welp and Jeremy Marcos on the video. And Bob, coming into the last week's game, you know, we sat here with a lot of question marks from wondering what type of team Jasper's going to have after a loss of quite a few players from that senior class of 2021-22. And now we've kind of have a lot of those questions answered. And so we saw an outstanding football game, both offensively and defensively, as far as how the Wildcats played. 401 yards of total offense, 307 yards on the ground, 94 in the air, and, even answering some of those questions. Who's going to run the football? So we saw Carter Holsworth go for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Grant Young had a great job, as we've expected from him, his quarterback spot with 61 yards on 10 carries. And as a team, we averaged 7 yards per carry. So the offensive machine was just rolling right along for the Cats. However, we're missing our quarterback tonight, Grant Young. We saw him hobbling a little bit late in that ball game last week, and so the ankle injury is a serious injury for him right now. So he's going to be out this week. We'll see, if maybe they're holding him out just to be ready for Rights next week, because we're going to take it on a Harrison team that's struggling a little bit. But, again, offensively moving right along, and hopefully we can just have next man up when it comes to the quarterback position.
Absolutely. And, Craig, you and I disagree on some things. You're a Steelers fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. You're a Hoosier fan. I'm a Wildcats fan.
Yep.
But we were both in agreement with Grant Young. This is definitely a game that you want to park him on the sideline. Anything that happens during the game that's any question to any what we would call quote-unquote key player, no chances. Bring him out. Harrison comes in on defense with 20 seniors. On defense, they're going to have 7 starting. So Rights took care of them pretty easy last week. And from what I've seen, Jasper and Rights is going to be like the Jasper and Rights. They're going to be pretty equal. So if we can get through that first and beat those seniors down, get a nice lead, we're going to get some fresh shirts in tonight.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations where it's like, each week you got to get better as a football team, regardless of the opponent. So that's what I hope the Wildcats can just be as sharp as they were last week and focused, and each player just kind of stepping up, especially when you're losing your quarterback. So what that means is Carter Holsworth is going to be under center, and we saw him play that last series against Memorial, and, again, he is the backup quarterback. In addition to being the starting fullback. So it's nice that he knows the offense and he's got the ability to run the football, whether it's, getting the ball handed off to him or pitched to him or just keeping it himself.
Well, tonight it's going to be about all my friends. We're going to talk about Kelly. We're going to talk about Rue, Nardoff, Heil, and Bauer. The guys that the big uglies up front, so to speak.
Absolutely.
What they did with Memorial last week. Memorial was 205, 230, 235, 245 across that line, and they were athletic dudes. And we got into the late third quarter. They started to drag down, and they only had 2 guys on the defensive line that somewhat went both ways. They would play some offense, but they weren't full-time. And our offensive line just got stronger and stronger and stronger, and Licklider made a nice adjustment on his blocking schemes. It doesn't matter who's in our backfield if at the end of the game is what we see tonight, end of the game, last game, to where we're getting 7 yards without being touched.
Right. Well, I know their parents aren't going to like that you call them big uglies, but we know what you mean there. But I was looking as far as what they're going to face on the defensive line for Harrison. And number 55, Random Phillips, he's at 210 pounds. Number 59, Dion Biggs at 235. And number 74, Kalen Miller's 305. So somebody's going to have a real assignment there. But again, like I said last week, I would have loved to see what the offensive line grades were, because I thought that they did an outstanding job all night long. And that's the reason why we kept moving the sticks. I mean, my goodness, we had I had 21 first downs and then 8 of 10 on third down conversion. So we just really controlled that line of scrimmage last week, and I hope to see the same thing tonight.
We flipped the script on what used to happen to Jasper 2-3 years ago, to where Jasper's defense would get the opposing team in the 3rd and long, and they would convert. Mm-hmm. Our silly penalties in the first half, we cleaned a lot of that stuff up in the second half, so that gives me a positive feel as we move forward. But when they came out and they just took over the way they did, I don't know. The question's been asked to me all week. Is Jasper really that good, or was Memorial that bad? Only time will tell, but I think the black and gold looked pretty gosh darn good last
When
week.
is Memorial ever bad?
Well, that's what I'm
Talk
saying.
about one of the best programs in the state.
Even
so
when
for people to even question that, my goodness. No, Jasper played an outstanding game, and Memorial, they're going to be right there at the end of the season again. So
they do every year.
Let's both answer that question for everyone. But hey, one other thing too, as far as the Wildcat defense, how dominant they were, held Memorial to only 199 total yards and shutting down Caleb Elpserman. He was only 10 of 26 passing for 86 yards, did not throw a touchdown, 2 picks. So we just saw outstanding coverage in the backfield, good pressure on the quarterback. Caleb Senninger and Drew Bradley led the defense with 6 tackles each. And, of course, the interceptions by Grant Young and Will Wallace. And I just thought it was just outstanding defensive play, and we're going to have to continue to see that improve every single week.
Defensive coordinator Joe Shelton did a heck of a job. He knows what Memorial's trying to do. He had his game plan figured out. Jasper's been running last year. They were running more of a 4-down lineman. He went to 3 and actually dropped a guy back. When it looked like Jasper had 4 up there, I was actually a linebacker coming up to put pressure from the outside. So he did a good job of disguising. Coach came up with a plan. The players executed it, started to wear Memorial down, and then just took over. When we had the unfortunate situation where we fumbled the ball on the kick return and gave them a very short field, our defense came in and just played outstanding and held them to 3.
Absolutely. Well, and, taking a look at Harrison, again, they've been struggling over the years. Mo Sutton's in his 3rd year there. Went 1-9 in 20 and 2-8 in 21. 0-1 to start this year with that loss 39-8 last week to Wrights. And, Harrison's last successful season was that 2015 season where they went 10-3. Coach Corey Brunson, who's now at Wrights, he was the coach at that time, and they just dominated Jasper, if you remember that game, 48-13 in the sectional championship. So, again, he's trying to build up the program, get it back to a level where they're competitive. And again, it's just going to be a big night tonight. If they can compete with the Wildcats, that's just going to be something they can build on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and it's difficult when, before that first game, your dream is kind of like the lottery. You buy that ticket, you always got a shot. Well, then you get shelled by Wrights. I mean, just absolutely destroyed. But watching Coach Sutton tonight, the way he was talking to his players, he's still very enthusiastic and trying to lift the young Warrior team up. So let's just see what happens, see if Jasper just continues where they were last week at the end of the game, and we should be fine.
All right, so number 8, Luke Watkins has got it teed up here and getting ready to get this football game started. The official gave him the green light with the whistle there, and we are underway. Jasper against Harrison tonight. So Bear's going to field that right at about the 12-yard line, straight up, looking for some room. He's able to get through there and across the 40-yard line, so that's a good return for the Wildcats to have great field position and a great start for their quarterback tonight, who is number 6, Carter Holsworth, a junior, 6 foot, 181. And, we got a player down already, so and he's holding his left knee. I don't like to see that because I know last week we saw, and that is Bear. Goodness, no. Yeah, so again, last week we saw a lot of players going down with cramps and all that, but Braylon Bear, one of the top players of this football team, last year all SIAC on the defensive side, and had a great game last week. He is down on the ground right now, and this does not look good.
That is definitely a blow. If it's you expect you hope for the best. How all this goes down, it just, boy, like you said, you hate to see their hands go down to their knee right away. He is a very, very important part of this team. We went through this with Day last year.
Right. Yep.
It's not something we want to see repeat itself.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll take a break here. When we come back, hopefully Braylon's able to get off on his own power here. All right, so we are back once again. Braylon Bear was helped off the field there. Braylon with 2 touchdowns last week, 46 yards rushing, a catch for 19 yards and a touchdown there. So the Cats will have to start things off without him. And first play goes to Wallace. We'll go through the starting lineup first for the backs and receivers for the Wildcats. We mentioned Holsworth's the quarterback. Wallace is the fullback. Slots include, Bear was one of the starters, and then also Charlie Cabrick and Tyler Atkins. And tight end position is Drew Bradley getting the start. Cameron Howard, I'm sure we'll see him as well. So Cats gain just a yard on that first play. All right, so it's give to Wallace on the right side. He's got a wide open space there, and so he's able to rush in deep into Harrison territory, close to the 35. He'll set it at about the 37-yard line. So good start for the Cats here.
Very interesting call by the coaches over there. They had 5 down linemen, and then they brought their linebackers up into the gaps. It was one of those, either you get it or he's going to get a big gain. We popped it out outside the tackle, and Wallace took care of the chewing up the yards.
So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats here. Given on the right side, and that is actually number 10, Jace Perkins. Jace had some carries last week, 3 rushes for 16 yards, so he gets the carry there but loses 1.
As they misguessed on the first play where we chewed up a bunch of yards, that one they guessed right. More often than not, Coach Lewis is going to figure this out on how they're calling their cadence. And we're just going to start dumping the ball over the middle if they're giving that many pressure. And out of the 11 defensive players, bringing 8 of them.
Holsworth throwing the football. He's got his tight end across the middle there, so that's a quick hitter to the 30-yard line. So Bradley's able to haul that one in. So that will get it right to the 30, a pickup of 9 on the pass play.
Way to recognize your receiver coming out, seeing him, hitting him in good stride. Receiver getting hit while the ball's arriving, doing a nice job of pulling it in and securing it. Definitely in 4-down territory.
So as I mentioned last week, the Wildcats 80% on 3rd down conversions, 8 of 10. So they're facing their first one here on 3rd and 3 from the 30. Option play, pitch out. That's Ernie with the football, and he's going to get maybe just a yard or so on the play. So this is going to set up a 4th down and 2. Now actually no gain as they spot it right there at the 30-yard line.
What Harrison's doing by running that 5-man front, they're taking their defensive ends, and whoever the furthest out player is on the offensive line, they're coming out on their outside shoulder. And as soon as that ball snapped, they're going up the field about a yard and cutting towards the quarterback, trying to make that pitch go as deep as it can.
All right, so a big situation here. Cats down to 8 seconds on the play clock, but still got time here. 4th and 3 for the Cats here. Little rollout. Holsworth's got a lot of green in front of him, so he eludes one defensive player, and now he gets across at the 20. So a nice run there, a pickup of about 13 on a 4th and 3.
When he took the ball and he kind of put it over his, like he was going to pitch the ball, the defender, number 15, C, would come in, and he had to hesitate because he had a guy coming to the back of him. Holsworth pulled it down. Easy 1st down.
So big plays for the Wildcats in this drive so far. Wallace had a 21-yard run, 9-yard pickup on that pass play, and then 13 yards on 4th and 3, 1st and 10 now from the 17. All right, so not much there for Wallace as they try to go to the right side, so a gain of about 1.
So far, every defensive possession, Harrison has sold out. I would not be surprised to see a counterplay go here. It's the only way you can get it to calm down.
8:43 on the clock, just underway here. The Wildcats on their first drive. So again, Carter Holsworth under center tonight. Cats will run the option. They pitch out, and it falls on the ground there, and so Ernie's just got to get on it, but I don't believe he did. No, it's going to be Harrison football. So the Wildcats running the option, and miscue right there. First turnover against the Wildcats gives Harrison the football at the 30-yard line.
Take care of the ball. It's that simple. But you can see just in the start of this game the difference between Holsworth pitching the ball and Young of last week pitching the ball. Holsworth's got to get out there a little bit quicker, and our tailback, the pitch man, receiver, he's got to get out a little bit further and flatten that out a little bit. We cannot be throwing the ball backwards 3 yards.
All right, so Harrison brings their team out there, and they're led by their quarterback he's got number 19, but Not on my roster.
I think we ran into that last week,
Yeah,
didn't
we did a couple times. All right, so he's looking downfield. They're looking for the quick hitter and overthrows his receiver as he was chucking it out there to number 2, Armand Archer. So that pass falls incomplete.
Well, it's a nice job by Jasper coming in and getting pressure on him and making him release the ball a lot sooner than he wanted to. Howard got his big paws up. He comes in at 6'5", so when he gets his paws up in the air, you really got to put some air into that ball just to get it over him, which caused him to easily overthrow the receiver by 10 yards.
All right, actually, I'm going to call the quarterback. He threw a touchdown pass last week. That was Caden Clements, so we will make the assumption that is who is starting tonight. They did not give us the offensive starters. So on the right side, now that's one player to watch tonight is Albert Wadlington. He had some nice plays early on in that Rights game last week. And we got a penalty flag, though. He was able to rush for the first down yardage, but we'll see what the flag's all about.
Well, I didn't want to scream in your ear, but I was kind of wondering why number 81, and if I could find his number here, Brooks Thomas, I was going to say he had us wrapped up. It was running us about 4 yards, kind of like one of my moving screens when I play basketball. You set it in the post, you end up at the top. He got himself a handful of jersey and took him for a ride. I was like, goodness gracious.
All right, so that's going to push it all the way back to the 21-yard line, setting up second down and 19. So Harrison has the football after the Wildcat turnover on the pitch out. Had a nice drive going. We're deep into Harrison territory all the way down to the 17-yard line. Right now it sits at the 20.
There's Howard again.
All right, so Clements is going to roll out here, still looking downfield, and then finally runs out of bounds. And, yeah, they said that Wallace eased off just enough because he had a chance to really pop him. He knocked him out of bounds, so that's going to stop the clock. 7:37 will set up a third down and long.
Yeah, Jasper's fortunate there. The thing about Wallace, even when he pulls back a little bit, he's still so strong, and that quarterback is not the biggest guy in the world. But referees gave us the benefit of the doubt on that one.
All right, so Clements now facing a 3rd and 16. Ball rest at the 24-yard line. Gained 3 yards on that scramble. They give it to Wadlington. And he sees a little bit of a room. He's still on his feet, so he's battling out there. So he's able to rush that football 10 yards on the play to the 34-yard line. But it's still going to set up a 4th down situation, and it looks like Harrison's going to punt.
Well, you have to. You know, we're 5 minutes into this game, and Jasper has not looked sharp at all. They have really got to get it together. If Harrison comes out in their second possession on the defensive side of the ball and they continue to sell out, we're going to have to start dropping the ball just over their top. There's no way they can stop it.
All right, so set to punt. Looks like it's Asher Horn, and actually I think we're going to have a delay of game here. So Harrison had plenty of time to get out there to set things up, but slow moving. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I don't know why it would be. So they go back 5 there, so we'll set it back at the 29-yard line now. So back to receive for the Wildcats, number 13, Caden Ernie. There's a punt, and it went off I'd say the side of his leg the way it sounded there, and it just goes right out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So no harm, no foul on the turnover there. So the Cats get the football right back. Great field position, almost about where like I said, they went down to the 17-yard line, but still, if they would have recovered that football on the fumble, it would probably been close to the 30. So just a few plays later, here comes the Wildcat offense again.
And you're right. But if you think about it, the running back for Harrison was maybe a yard short of a first down. If it wouldn't have been for that holding penalty, they shot themselves in the foot. We've got to punch it in here. We got to enforce our will.
Holsworth, now he pitches out again, and it's another fumble. And again, Harrison's right on top of it. So The option play has been a problem, and actually down is Caden Ernie because he got pushed from behind as they were scrambling for that football. But the Warriors were all over it. But we may now have another starter who's out of the ball game. Braylon Bear, he's over here on the training table with big ice pack on his left knee. Now he got Caden Ernie down, and he looks like he's in pain there.
Yeah, that the way he went down on his shoulder there, it could be anything from the shoulder down. You just don't want to speculate on that, but just playing devil's advocate here, I didn't know that you were allowed to attack a player from the back.
Well, they're scrambling for the football, and especially on a fumble, all rules kind of go out of the game at that particular point. So
you're right.
All right, so Harrison, 2 fumbles by the Wildcats. Both lost. So now the Warriors have 1st and 10 in Wildcat territory at the 49.
Here we come.
Wydlington on the right side. He is seeing some openings. And again, he is a good-sized kid at 5'10", 190 in his senior season. So, again, he was one player that Mo Sutton was really looking to build upon on this football season. So he picks up just shy of 10 yards on there. We'll call it 9, and so it's 2nd down and short.
Nice job at the offensive line, sealing Jasper down. He hit that 4-hole, and he did what good running backs do. He went north and south, picked up 9.
So the Warriors at the 40-yard line, and they actually, nice disciplined job there by the offensive lineman not to jump on that play, and the Wildcats do. So a 1st down by penalty will put the football just inside the 35-yard line.
Now, I understand the thinking as far as bringing heat, you know, stunting your linebackers and filling gaps and doing all that. But so far, we, like Harrison, we have been selling out. And if that running back gets past that first line of defense, it's a big gainer.
All right, so Clements gives it on the left side this time, and running back was able to scamper away. That's Jordan Jackson. So he's able to rush the football to the 30-yard line, pick up a 5 on that 1st down run.
Jackson did a really nice job of getting in the hole, keeping his body low and his knees high. So when guys were reaching up, they couldn't lock him down, and you know, picked up a nice chunk of yards on 1st down for him.
All right, so 2nd down and 5. We played 7 minutes of the 1st quarter, no score. Jasper has fumbled on their first 2 possessions. So Harrison looking to get on the board first here. And again, we got another penalty. He's pointing to the backfield. Actually, this is going to go against Harrison, so that's going to push him back 5. So walk back 5 there. We'll set it up as 2nd down and 10.
Jasper very fortunate there. I didn't even see the movement from the guys in the white, but I did see a whole bunch of black guys right there on the defensive side of the ball try to shoot it. Just take your time. Just fill the gaps. Make it simple. Don't take chances. You're a superior defensive team.
Now there's a fumbled snap, so both teams are struggling. This time it's basically a bad snap that Clements had to run all the way back and recover there, so that's going to be a huge loss all the way to the 46-yard line.
Harrison's been very successful moving the ball on Jasper, but they've had, and I would anticipate this one because it's 3rd down and about 6.5 miles, I would expect that they would be punting the ball to Jasper. First drive, they moved the ball on Jasper. They had the holding penalty that got them. Now they have the snap over the head. Jasper's fortunate that Harrison is allowing Jasper to stay in this game because we are not playing well at all.
So a loss of 19 on the play. So quarterback number 19 is going to throw it out there, and that's a lame duck. That should be an easy interception, but we got a flag down here.
The ball was tipped. It can't be interference.
I don't believe it was tipped, though, was it?
Yes, it was. because once it left his hand, it went straight up like a duck.
Yeah, but I just thought he threw a really bad ball. I don't think that's going to be the case here. Yeah, it's going to be pass interference against the Wildcats. That was just a duck he threw. Nobody touched that football because he let it go right away. So Jasper had the interception. Waiting for it was Tyler Atkins. It came right down into his hands, but we got a penalty over there on the other side. So Harrison. It's only 15 yards, so it's not, because again, it's not an automatic first down, so it's still going to bring up third down.
I understand that, but the Harrison receiver was nowhere within 15 to 20 yards of that ball. I know their collision happened over there, and they may say, oh, he tried to throw it to him. It's like, that's just me trying to put common sense into it, I guess.
All right, so now we're faced with a 3rd and 14. Throw across the middle, and Atkins at least gets a hand on it. A little bit too tall for the interception, but that's going to bring up a 4th down. So I would assume Harrison's going to go for it here in 4-down territory at the 39.
Pass is incomplete. Brings up 4th down, 4th and 14 at the 39.
All right. So Coach Sutton and his staff over there conversing with their quarterback.
Yeah, looks like maybe he's changed his mind a little bit.
Yeah, he decided, let's play the field position game here.
Won't be much of a change of field position if he punts it the way he did the last time.
Yeah, he just completely missed the ball and kind of went off the side of his leg, and I think they took the delay of game to give him a little bit more room to boot that football. So Atkins, number 11, is back there to receive, standing right at about the 16-yard line. So Asher Horn will punt again. Good snap there. And Kabrick, and he calls for the fair catch right there at about the 17-yard line. So third possession for the Wildcats. First 2, we can throw those 2 away. Again, I know you're working with the new quarterback, and and again with this offense, it's basically a triple option. And the quarterback just has a lot of responsibilities, running the football, getting into the right hands, but also that pitch. And, both those pitches, he kind of waited a little bit too long, it looked like, and kind of took the contact when he tried to lay it out there for the tailback.
Yeah, Miller, the 305-pound nose guard, is really getting deep penetration against us.
All right, so the first play right up the middle, so a good run there by Jace Perkins, number 10. So he'll pick up about 7 on the play.
When we come to this strong side with the pitch, if we can pin those guys down, I think Holsworth's fast enough to get around the corner.
All right, so straight up this time, and a nice job defensively by number 59 to stop that. That's Deion Biggs, 5'11", 235. So Cats were able to pick up 2 there, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
2 yards on the play. And 3rd and 1 at the 27.
2:24 on the clock. First quarter action here, no score. Now you again give it to the big guy, Jace Perkins. So Perkins, 5'8", 212 pounds, a nice solid build for a fullback, so he's getting the opportunities tonight and gets the first down there.
Yeah, he come popping through, and he does have good size, big. The linebacker, he came up, he's 235, so that was a little bit of a collision right there. Biggs did a nice job of stopping the play because he was the last line of defense.
Holsworth again gives it to the first man through. So Perkins will pick up about 3 on that rush. And that's another thing too. Again, he's given it to the fullback 3 straight times there. I don't know if he's maybe a little bit gun shy after those the 2 fumbles on the pitches there. So, but he's just got to get his confidence back to be able to run this full offensive attack. So now you got Wallace in the backfield. And we got another fumble, and this time it's recovered, and he's going to take it to the house. So Armand Archer picks that football up and returns it all the way for the score. So the Wildcats really struggling offensively here with 3 penalties, all of them fumbles, and this one is returned for a score all the way from the 33-yard line.
This is what people were afraid of with Memorial last week and Wrights next week. You know, is Jasper possibly looking over Harrison, especially since Harrison got shelled by Wrights last week? I'm not going to say that they're overlooking them, but boy, they're sure making it easy on them.
I agree. The Wildcats have just got to get their heads back on here. So Luke Watkins out there to kick the extra point. He pops it straight through. So the Evansville Harrison Warriors lead the Jasper Wildcats 7-0 with 1:19 to go here in the first quarter. We'll be back after this on 18 WJTS. So Armand Archer, number 2, the senior, returns one 33 yards for a touchdown on the fumble recovery. Cats with 3 fumbles, all lost here in the first quarter. There's the kickoff fielded right at the 15-yard line. Straight up and all the way to the 40-yard line return there. So number 25, Landon Fleck, with a good return, will set up the Wildcats with good field position. But you know what? We've had good field position 3 out of our first 4 possessions. But, you know, again, that doesn't mean anything if you're going to give the football right back to the defense.
We're getting whipped in the trenches. It's just that simple. The fumbles on our pitches, defensive tackles, defensive ends getting too good at penetration and changing the angle of that pitch. We cannot continue to keep running the ball up the middle and expect to wear these guys out.
All right, so Wallace carries the football, maybe gains about, I think they're going to spot it right at the 44-yard line, so that will be a 4-yard gain. So we'll have at least one more play here in the quarter as we're at 53 seconds now.
I think it may benefit Jasper if we can get Holtzclaw out on a quarterback. Yeah. He did well on that one earlier in the first quarter.
Right. All right, so he keeps it this time, pitches out, wide open spot there for Atkins to the left side. Now he's across the 40, so deep gets into Harrison territory, and he will be brought down at the 37-yard line.
Well, hopefully that was a little adjustment that the coaches made, because I had noticed the defensive back was out a little bit. So when Holsworth's got to pitch the ball, he's looking more at a smaller angle instead of pitching the ball 2-3 yards back. Jasper did a better job on that play on the backside of our offensive line of keeping those guys pinned down.
So an 18-yard run there, 1st and 10 for the Cats. They run one more player in the quarter, and there's Wallace on the right side. So, again, the Cats just have to protect the football. They moved the ball very well on that first drive before they gave it up. So, same situation here. And a nice pickup of 7 there for Wallace.
Nice job of just lowering your shoulders and getting some pounding down. And, you know, hits like that, if we start running that hard every single time to where we can – if our offensive line can kind of move them a little bit to where Wallace can get that kind of steam going, the punishment that he deals out will take effect late in the third quarter into the fourth.
All right, so a rocky start for the Jasper Wildcats finds them down 7-0 at the end of one. We'll take a break here on 18 WJTS. All right, Carter Holsworth, the quarterback, calls his play there to start the second quarter. Cats at the 30-yard line. 2nd down and 3 after a 7-yard run by Wallace. Perkins in the backfield. But actually, outstanding job defensively there by number 22, Jordan Jackson, to get back there and knock the Cats for a loss.
So far early in this game, Harrison has guessed right the majority of the times, and that's why we're struggling. That's why the fumbles. When you play an aggressive team like that, little dumps over the middle and counters will get those guys to sit back, because then if they get beat, then they got more of a field that they have to chase down.
All right, so the left side. Again, gang tackle, 3 defensive players, including number 65 all over that play. That was Jamon Farmer Jr., 6'1", 250 pounds. No gain on the play there for Perkins.
4th down and 4. We know Coach Lewis can be a wily coach. Be interesting to see if he gets this up in the air or see if he gets Holsworth out in the open.
All right, so this is big for the Jasper Wildcats. Been a big-time struggle to start this football game. Holsworth looking to throw, and he just lobs it out there because, man, no protection whatsoever as number 55 again comes in, and that's Random Phillips. So he was just right in there untouched and gets right into Holsworth's face and brings him down.
Well, the defensive coordinator for Harrison, he's just telling Jasper, I'm bringing everybody. You know, if you're not going to try to put the ball up, we're going to send so many guys. Your 5 offensive linemen can't block us. And so far, they've had success.
All right, so the football team that we saw last week, nowhere to be found yet in this first quarter in 1 minute and 20 seconds. So Clements, the quarterback, gives it. 22 with the carry, that's Jackson. So spin move there and not able to gain much, maybe a yard.
Senninger did a nice job of making contact with him, and then when he did his spin down, and of course the other Jasper players there were to help finish up, but he did a nice job of getting his hand up here and trying to strip it. You know, you never know. We're capable of fumbling, so are they. So we need to keep that up. Wrap up, another guy go for the ball, you know. Who knows? That could change the tide real quick.
You know, the thing is, we just see no emotion whatsoever. I mean, I think that we just need everybody to wake up, including the crowd here. So Senninger was able to get the running back by the shoestrings there, but he was able to still gain about 5 on the play. So 2 runs by number 22, Jordan Jackson, sets up a 3rd down and 4.
Well, I think the fan base here for Jasper is a little stunned. This is such a vast difference of the fire that we've seen last week.
Yeah, really. But again, we got to get this team motivated somehow, some way.
You never know. This could be the play.
So the Harrison Warriors leading the Wildcats 7-0. There's a running play, and second effort there, gets close to the 1st down. He's able to get across the 40. So this time that was Wylington with the carry. So he'll pick up 4 and a 4th and 1. We'll see if Harrison decides to go for it. Again, they're playing with house money. They returned a fumble recovery all the way for a touchdown, so they lead the Wildcats 7-0. But they have done the job defensively against the Cats. Cats with 4 possessions and nothing to show for it yet. So it's going to be 4th and actually inches.
See if we bring everything but the kitchen sink.
Wylington on the right side. Now he goes forward, and he's got the yardage and then some. Getting close to midfield there.
Nice job of just keep fighting.
So he needed about 8 inches. He gets 8 yards on that play, so sets it up 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line.
The 48-yard line will be 1st and 10 Warriors at the 48.
So again, the Wildcats coming in tonight, ranked number 5 in the media poll, number 8 in the coaches poll. But they're going to have to prove that as this night continues on, trailing 7-0. Play clock goes all the way down. They call the timeout at the last minute, but I think we'll see if they gave them the timeout. I think they did. So, all right, so we're going to take a break here. 7:49 on the clock. Jasper trailing the Harrison Warriors 7-0 here on 18 WJTS. Well, the Harrison Warriors showing it now on the offensive side of the ball. getting the first down. They'll have a 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Clements with number 31, Wadlington, in the backfield, so he'll get the football on the left side. Now the Wildcats stop him for about a 2-yard gain.
The one thing Jasper did not do on that, Craig, was they didn't shoot. They kept our linebackers in position. They read them. Hey, you know, let's pick it up once our defensive line tie up the offensive guys. Let's make our move then. No more guessing. I really think at the beginning that's what we got to do. Harrison is going to end up making mistakes. So just play under control and don't take any chances. Get the ball back and let's just change the momentum of this game.
All right, so the ball's at midfield right now. 2nd down and 8. Clements throws it out there. He's got his tight end. Nice hook up there, and that's going to be real close to the first down yardage as he's going to spot that right at the 42-yard line. So that was a nice hook up with number 81, Brooks Thomas.
Yeah, and they've got him marked down at 6'7", 240. That's going to be a load for anybody.
No doubt.
We were able to wrap him up. He caught the ball about 9 yards down, so we were able to wrap him up and, you know, keep him from doing any more damage.
So credit about 8 yards on the play. He's just, again, 3rd and inches here. 6:21 on the clock. Harrison leads 7-0 over the Wildcats. Clements tries to chuck it out here and overthrows his receiver out of bounds, so that'll fall incomplete, and that'll stop the clock and set up a 4th down and short.
Well, what that told you right there was they were going to take a chance, see if something big could happen, because they were going for this 4th and inches, and you know it's a good game plan for Coach Sutton over there. Jasper has not proven that we can stop them for a loss all night long.
Right. So last time we saw a 4th and inches, we saw Wadlington go for 8 yards. Now they actually set up a fullback back there with him, so that's Jordan Jackson will be in the backfield.
Right.
Wadlington dots the I, and he sees an opening on the right side, and he's easily got that first down yardage. He gets across the 40 to about the 38-yard line.
Well, Coach Sutton and the guys over there, they're just going over the right side of that line. You know, you've got 305 and you got 280 sitting over there, and they're coming off the ball at this particular time very aggressively. You got that kind of size, it's going to be hard not to pick up, you know, the few inches. We have got to keep them in a 3rd and long.
So Harrison looking like an offense tonight. 2 first downs on this drive here, including a 8-yard pass hook up to their tight end, but Wadlington's done a nice job of getting the necessary yardage on 4th and inches twice, but now they get a penalty. So we got movement against the Warriors here. So that'll push him back 5 to the 43-yard line. Clock continues to run here in the first half. 5:31. Jasper trailing 7-0 over against the Harrison Warriors.
Well, it's kind of a guessing game right now with whether they're going to go deep or not. I'm just kind of curious if Jasper's going to play even Steven back in the linebackers, or are we bringing them?
All right, so there's a sweep to the outside, and the Cats are able to converge on that. Good job by Senninger and cleaned up there by Peter. So Wadlington had nowhere to go there, so that was probably the best defensive play for the Wildcat defense so far tonight.
We did bring some heat, but that was from the backside, so the guys on this side, Senninger and Peter, did a really nice job of breaking down, not only taking away the inside cut, but where Peter was lined up on the numbers. If he would have bounced it out, he'd have been in the Jasper sideline. So, you know, you've essentially got 3 defenders there. Nice job by Jasper.
So it knocks him back 6 yards to the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 16, 4:29 on the clock, and Harrison calls a timeout. All right, so we'll take a break. When we come back, the Wildcats have Harrison back another 6 yards, so they'll face a 2nd and 16 here on 18 WJTS. So the Harrison Warriors come out of the huddle after the timeout here. 4:27 on the clock. Second down and 16 from the 44-yard line. Oh, there's a bad snap there. Clements just going to have to dive right on top of it. So that's the second time that has happened to the Warriors. They lost 19 on the previous one. This one's going to take them back about 10 yards.
Well, the majority of the time in that play right there, even though the ball got through, they were coming over this right side of the line again. We've got to make a little bit of an adjustment there because that's a whole lot of beef coming at you.
All right, so that will set the football at the 46-yard line. So Harrison pushed back into their own territory. So it gives the Wildcats a little bit of a cushion here. So they face a 3rd and 26 now. And Harrison calls their final timeout of the half. So we'll take a break. When we come back, 3rd and 26 for the Warriors here on 18 WJTS. All right, 3rd down and 26. Ball at the 46-yard line. Harrison burns their last time out here.
It's kind of interesting that he did call his timeout, but regardless of whether it's interesting or not, he did do it. So out of this setup, they have looked for number 81, who's set up on the far side.
Well, they split out 3 wide receivers to the far side there, 1 to the near. So trying to set up a screen. They get out to Wadlington, and nope, he overthrows them, so that falls incomplete. So, again, Jasper ought to be able to get pretty decent field position here. So, again, that punter is going to punt from probably about the 37-yard line, and we haven't seen very good punts from him yet tonight. So Atkins will be back there to receive as he's setting up right at about the 23-yard line.
Yeah, the one that he did get a good foot in, I think, went all about, 23 yards?
Yeah. So Horn will punt again.
I cannot believe we can't block that as slow as it is getting back there.
Well, it won't be returned, but fairly decent punt. Okay, so he's starting to walk up a little bit as it went out of bounds, but man, I think we actually got the benefit on there.
Yeah, it looked like it was on the other side of 25.
I agree. So the Cats will have it at the 28-yard line. So we got plenty of time here with 3:34. But the bottom line is the Cats have just got to, bottom line is just play football here offensively.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Coach Lewis does with this setup. You know, does he try to push the issue a little bit? We have not been very successful just going up the gut. That's what they're playing. They're guessing that's what we're going to do. I think we should open it up here a little bit.
Holsworth gives it on the left side. Nice spin move there by Jace Perkins. So Perkins, for that second effort, is able to get the football to the 33-yard line. So a pickup of about 5 on that play.
I'll tell you what, Perkins, that's a well put together young man. He could cause some damage out there. Let's get his wheels turning.
Take advantage of that 212 stocky size he has, so he's lined up in the fullback spot again. Cats have been using Wallace and Perkins in the backfield tonight. Can't even get the exchange. Another fumble, and it's going to be recovered by the Harrison Warriors. So, again, it has been a struggle tonight for Carter Holsworth. You know, and again, he's prepared all season to be pretty well the fullback, as we obviously saw in last week, and rushed for 107 yards, but thrown into the quarterback spot tonight, and he has had struggles all night. That is the 5th fumble for the Wildcats.
I understand the quarterback, he either gets a praise or he gets the brunt of it. You can talk about his fumbles, but every time that the ball has come loose, he's had 2-3 guys on him. We're not giving him any help. We have got to stop that penetration. They are coming through way too easy.
Check that, actually 4 fumbles, but then the Cats lost it on downs last time. So new fresh legs running the football this time. That is Nation Johnson. So Johnson, number 30, He's got a nice size at 5'8", 205. Picks up 3 on the play. So Harrison deep into Wildcat territory here. 3-yard gain to the 30-yard line.
They're just riding their big horses right now. They're winning the battle in the trenches, and it's not even close.
Clock ticking at 2:15. Sweep to the right side is Wadlington, and penalty flags are flying everywhere as Cats try to wrestle the football away from him. Yeah, we see 2 or 3 flags. Actually, that's going to be a hold against the Harrison Warriors. So Harrison's had their share of penalties on the offensive side. A couple bad snaps, but, you know, again, they can kind of clean up some things offensively for them. You know, this could be a little bit worse than just a 7-0 situation for Jasper right now.
You know, a lot of game left, and I'm sure the coaches will make adjustments at halftime. They've been pretty good about that. Made some great adjustments last week. I wouldn't expect any different from them right now. But the number one thing when you're playing a team that you are favored by so much, you cannot let them in the game, because once that momentum train starts going, it is hard to stop.
I know. All right, clock ticks at 1:46. Wylington straight up. Good job by Wallace to get into the backfield to slow him up before his teammates finish the job there, including number 51, Cole Trevino.
I thought we would call timeout, but I guess Coach Lewis is just trying to make some adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, so no gain there. Clements chucks it out there. Nice ball he throws out, and good job defensively there by Charlie Cabrick. Made contact with the receiver and knocked the ball out of his hands.
Cabrick did a really nice job of flowing and attacking the ball as it arrived, and did Jasper defense a big favor by knocking that incomplete. Now the clock stops.
So with 1:15 on the clock,
It's a 4th and 19 for the Warriors at the 42-yard line.
so the Wildcats with 4 fumbles tonight. You can say, you know, just one of them hurt them with the fumble recovery for the touchdown, but still it's just stalled drives and has just really, I think, hurt the confidence of this offensive team tonight. And now what an outstanding punt this time, all the way down to the 1-yard line. So the Cats, man, with just 1:07, I think they'd just be happy to just get out of here alive here after this really difficult first half of football.
Yeah, this could be just a couple of quarterback sneaks. Harrison has no timeouts to stop the clock. So, yeah. And to be honest with you, I think that's exactly what I'd do. Just make sure the hands gets in Holsworth's hands and lock it down, get you an inch or two. Just go into the locker room. No sense. We fumbled already 4 times.
All right, so they just give it straight up to number 10, Jace Perkins.
Perkins on the carry.
And doesn't give much breathing room. I think gaining maybe a yard on the play.
Gain of about a yard out to the 2-yard line.
So Cats going to try to run as much clock as they can here, I would believe.
Yeah, this should be the last play.
Well, 34 on the game clock, 11 on the play clock. They're going to have to run at least one more. The main thing is protect the football. I want to lose it down here. Give it to Wallace this time on the left side.
Wallace on the carry, brings it out to the 10-yard line.
So close to the first down yardage. He's going to be a little bit short. But I think now the Cats can let the clock just run out. But man, oh man, what a difficult night of football for the Wildcats so far. You know, again, we're just right here at halftime, but they find themselves down 7-0. And it all started just really, you know, on the kickoff return to open up this football game, and the Wildcats lose their leader, Braden Bear, to what looks like maybe a knee injury as he was icing that knee. And then shortly after that, actually on a punt return, that was actually that fumble snap when Caden Ernie was hit from behind, and now he looks like he's got a shoulder injury as he had his shoulder pads off and was icing that. So 2 key players for the Wildcats out of this football game, but regardless, we had, just looking at our possessions, fumble loss on the first play of our second possession, and then then the fumble recovery, returned 33 yards. So that was a touchdown by number 2, Armand Archer. Ran that one back. It bounced right into his hands, and he took it to the house there. Cats lost the next drive on downs, and then fumble, and then just pretty well letting the clock run out there. So, man, this is just one of those where it's like halftime. You just have to have a conversation with your team and say, hey, where are you guys? Because this isn't what we saw last week.
Well, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. If you think about Santa Claus and him always giving out gifts, his colors are red and white. That's what Harrison is over there. However, Jasper's been Santa Claus tonight. They have put their defense in bad position after bad position after bad position, and to look up and see the scoreboard is 7-0, we have to give a lot of props to the defense. If this is against Castle or North, goodness gracious, we're probably looking 24, 28-0. But there's a half of football left.
Right.
And as surprised as we were in the first half on how Jasper came out, life's full of opportunities. And now they have an opportunity to come out in the second half and turn things around.
Right. All right, well, not much else to talk about, so we'll take a break here. Jasper trails 7-0 here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're at halftime here as the Wildcats and the Harrison Warriors start to loosen up, getting set for the second half. And, the one thing I just circled here is fumbles. Again, 6 fumbles in this football game, 2 by Harrison that basically pushed them back pretty deep and stopped drives for them, obviously. But for the Wildcats, 4 fumbles, all 4 fumbles lost, and, of course, 1 returned all the way for a touchdown, so 34 yards. And, that's the football game right now, 7-0. And, the Wildcats, the rushing attack, 22 attempts for 92 yards, so averaging about 4 yards per carry. But, again, really hard to do if you're going to give the football right away. So the Wildcats just really have to get settled in there. Passing-wise, the Wildcats 1 of 2 passing. Carter Holsworth connecting with Drew Bradley for 9 yards. And, and as far as the Warriors, again, 15 carries for 23 yards. Passing. That can't be right. Okay, 1 of 6. Okay, I was going to say I thought I read that wrong where it said 6 of 8. But, no, 1 of 6 for 8 yards is what it is. So, just an extremely, extremely messy football game. And, unfortunately, the Wildcats are on the short end of the stick here. And actually, again, halftime adjustments you need to make. And right now they're working Landon Fleck back there. And he and Holsworth and then also Wallace are working on things. So hopefully we'll see maybe Landon Fleck and see if he can get us a little spark offensively.
Fleck's a good running back. He's shown in a couple of games last year his ability. It looks like he's a little bit bigger, which you would think as they progress through school.
Right.
But I can't imagine that the conversation at halftime between Coach Lewis and the guys wearing the black and gold was anything less than just concentrating on their concentration, getting their heads back in the game. These guys that are coming off the offensive line for Harrison are huge, and they continue to run over the right side, where you got 280 and 305. I get that. But your technique's got to be a little bit better to where if you're just with that size coming at you, if you're off at all, they'll move you.
Right.
And that's what they've been doing. When the plays on defense to where we've set our linebackers and let them stay home and just read the running back, they have not been successful at all. So it'd be interesting if the coaching on that side makes that adjustment and kind of stays more with just keeping the linebackers at home. On the offensive side of the ball, take care of the ball.
Well, and that's the thing with the offensive side. We started off the football game without Grant Young, so obviously you're down your leader and the guy who touches the football on every single play. But then just immediately, we lose Braylon Bear, and then all of a sudden Caden Ernie goes down. So really, as far as the Wildcats try and some other things you were mentioning as far as trying to, run some counters and different things there, but we're missing our 2 slots that typically will carry the football in those situations. But, it's just one of those deals where it's just, we're down 3 offensive starters right now.
Yeah. In the counters, everybody knows it's watch any level of football. You hear the commentators talking about, misdirection, trying to keep the guys at home, slow them down a little bit. The counters would not be effective if they continue to get their penetration. Offensively, the biggest adjustment, the biggest change of the game that has to take place is we need to start winning the battle in the trenches.
Right.
If we can get a score and get a little bit more fire underneath these Cats, I think we'll be fine. But they have an opportunity now. They've got 24 minutes of football, and they've shown the ability to put Harrison in terrible field position. Their punter's not been real good, so Jasper's been able to get it up around the 30, 35. We've got to get down. We've got to get points.
All right, we got a little bit of a delay going on right now, actually. Phil Kendall, the athletic director, is on the field. So I don't know what this is all about. They actually have a golf cart over on the far side over there. I don't know if did something happen with one of the guys that hold the sticks over there. Huh. So I don't know if this is somebody needing medical attention or not. So.
Well, usually it's not a good sign when they bring the cart all the way across the field.
Right. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break here. Kind of let things carry on. Well, actually, they got the cart off there, so I think maybe ready to start here shortly. All right, so the Wildcats get all set here. But again, just the bottom line is you're struggling as a football team. Now it's a matter of just really getting this team to get the emotion back. You got to get really fired up because, again, football's an emotional game. And you just have to really be fired up for the very start of the football game. And, again, obviously the Cats, with the 2 injuries to start things off, really kind of set us back there. But, again, that's in the past now. Right now, you got basically a new football game. Unfortunately, you're down by 7 to start it. But this just has to be a totally new attempt for the Wildcats to just get right back into this football game. And I think it just starts with emotion.
Yeah. Oh, agreed, 100%. And you say, unfortunately, we're down 7-0. Some people may argue with 4 fumbles. We're fortunate to be down to 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it is. It's all about who's going to be the guy, who wants to be the man, and we'll see if somebody can step up, get some fire in themselves, and pass it along to the team.
Yeah, because again, Harrison only had 31 yards of total offense, so they weren't able to take advantage of a lot of those miscues, other than returning one for a touchdown. But then the Cats kicked the football right out of bounds to start the second half. So, man. It just never seems to end. But, hey, maybe that's what we wanted to do, just, because, again, the defense is pretty well holding Harrison for the most part. And, again, we kicked off last week, and we saw it returned 84 yards for a touchdown. So, again, we just don't want to give them any momentum. So it's probably not a bad move there.
No, not really.
I'd say that's probably planned, to be honest.
Well, when you got Horn back there and Reed, these guys – even though we've held them pretty decent, when they've gone east and west, they've been able to get to the corners a couple of times. Our pursuit's been really good, but they got big play capability.
All right, so the Cats getting after the quarterback, and he chucks it out there. Atkins went for the interception, but he was able to hook up with his tight end. So we saw that go for 9 yards in the first half. And hold on, now we're starting to.
There's a flag over here.
All right, so we got a penalty flag on the field, and it's an ineligible receiver downfield. So Cats were able to kind of get after the quarterback, Eric Clements, but he hooked up with his tight end, number 81, Brooks Thomas, for a nice gain there. And it looked like they were going to have a nice roll, but Obviously, one of the linemen must have got downfield a little too quick, and so that's going to push him back 5. So a huge break for the Wildcats there.
When the quarterback rolls out, the coaches tell the offensive line, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005, get down. But he kept going and kept going and kept going. And the offensive linemen that were not keeping their eye on the quarterback evidently thought he got away, and they were 6 yards down the field.
All right, so it's still first down and 15 now. Give it to the left side, and good penetration by the Cats there, sending her in on the stop. And then also number 30, Drew Bradley, coming from his linebacker spot. So no running room there and a loss of 1.
A lot more fire. They were quicker to the ball. Let's hope that continues. Let's hope that's the defensive adjustment. Because when you have that kind of speed, it goes right back to what you said, Craig, enthusiasm.
So they're calling it second. He went back a yard there, so it's ball's resting right at about the 29-yard line. So second down and 16. And we got more penalty flags now. And I think this is going against Harrison. Delay a game, so again, Harrison, the only score on the board is a return fumble for a touchdown. So you can't sit there and say Harrison's playing a great football game. The Wildcats have pretty well shot themselves in the foot with the fumbles lost and all that. But again, this defense, just in these situations, you gotta smell blood in the water, and you got to be the shark that attacks here. And we just need to see it right here. So it's second down and 21 now. Quarterback throws downfield, completes it, and the Wildcats are able to stop him right at about the 37-yard line. So he hooks up right there with number 2, Armand Archer. So that was a nice gain there.
Nice design by getting Archer out there, but what they did when Archer came out, our defensive back flowed with him. They brought another guy in, so then our defensive back had to guess, which one's it going to. And he put the ball on the money. We did a nice job of keeping him in a 3rd and long, though.
Yeah, so 13-yard hook up there sets up a 3rd and 8. Clements, he throws a nice football out there and actually just throws a little bit short. I don't know if that was intended for number 13, Hennison, or if it was trying to go long there, but it kind of got in between the 2 receivers and falls incomplete. So more or less, even though they ran a number of plays, it's a 3 and out.
Well, you got to know Coach Lewis said to this team as they came out, all right, let's go out, let's get a stop, let's get the ball back, let's go down, score it. Let's see if we can fulfill that and get a score.
Atkins fields it at the 28-yard line, trying to get to the outside. There's a good block. No, they're going to call the flag.
That's a bad call.
Well, it's a blind side block there, and they're going to call that every single time. I know it looked like he got him on the side, but they call that. That's considered a blind side block, not necessarily a block in the back there. So Wallace didn't quite have the angle, and so he gets penalized, and so a good return is going to come all the way back.
You know what? I hate to see that penalty right there, but kudos to Wallace for showing a little bit of fire and continuing to play.
So there's 2 flags. We'll see where they mark it from. I think it should be from that one at the 39.
They called a block in the back. I don't think it was
no,
a block
that wasn't
in
a
the
block.
back.
No, that's a blindside block, which, again, that is a penalty. So I'm not really faulting the call.
What do they call that at the upper levels? A unprotected play or something
Right,
like that?
right. All right, so they will move it all the way back to the 29-yard line. So that's where Jasper will start off their first possession of the second half. And we just need to, number 1, not lose the football, keep the ball in our hands here. So 1st and 10 from the 29, 9:43 on the clock, 3rd quarter. Jasper trails 7-0.
I can't believe that the coaching staff over there for Harrison's going to change their game plan. So if we can get to the outside, that could benefit us. They are essentially going with an 8-man front.
Holsworth just waiting too long. Did that get picked off? Close to it. Yeah, Holsworth just camped back there. I mean, Coverage was good downfield. He actually had Cabrick deep.
That is the one bad thing about Holsworth coming in for just this game. You know, not a whole lot of experience at quarterback. It's, you know, Grant Young being a quarterback last year and into this year and a little bit of sophomore year, you can feel that pressure. When you're inexperienced, you can't.
They give it to the left side, and that is Fleck. He has nowhere to go as he was just pretty well manhandled literally by Jay Sutton right there with a beautiful stop. Sutton's just a sophomore, but 6 foot, 220. Good size. So no gain on that play. So the Cats offensively, first 2 plays, nothing gained, so we're at 3rd and 10.
They have a 5-man defensive front. They bring their linebackers up. In our day, we called it goal line. You know, you just, other than a couple of defensive backs, you lined everybody up on the line, and that's what they're doing. We've got to take what they give us.
There's some movement. This is going to go against the Wildcats. So, man, it's just offensively, this Jasper Wildcat football team is just having a horrible, I'm just going to flat out say it's a horrible night of football. Oh, they call it on the defense there. Oh, my
I was with you. I see 2 Wildcats move, but maybe they said the defense drew them off. If nothing else, what a break.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me take back a
Well, they did move.
all right, okay, we're all good. 3rd and 5.
Nobody in the backfield.
Get more penetration, so that's going to be a first down. So the Cats get the Warriors to jump twice.
Maybe that's what, you know, maybe the coaching staff up there is like, hey, let's change the tone of our snaps. You know, they're starting to guess them. Maybe coaches are thinking that they're guessing right more often than they're guessing wrong as far as when we're going to snap the ball, and that's how they get penetration. So, you know, change the cadence, make him take his voice and change the tone of how he calls it. Work twice.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Wildcats by way of penalty.
Look at that. They are stacking everybody. Everybody.
Yes, look at that. Just Cats cannot get anywhere with the rushing attack. Fleck stop for no gain again.
I think we float to the right instead of handing the ball off. I think Holsworth runs a bootleg like we talked earlier in the game to the backside because they're flowing everybody. And Holsworth, we've seen last week, he does have enough speed to get to the outside.
So the Wildcats, the 3 plays that have been run, incomplete pass and 2 no gains. Option, they pitch it out. So there's an opening to the outside. Stiff arm right there. So that's number 84 carrying the football. Mitchell Leinenbach getting the opportunity in the slot position as the Wildcats are short a couple players, including Caden Ernie and Braylon Bear, both down with injuries. So Mitchell with a nice run there of about 5 yards.
The pitch looked a whole lot better, a little bit more space, and it was more of a short angle instead of, you know, throwing it deep. So maybe that's a good sign to come. If we can get, you know, 4th and a yard, Coach Lewis may go for it. Our defense has done a decent job tonight.
So 3rd down and 5. There's the option again. They pitch it out, and it just goes right off his hands. And did Leinenbach get on top of it? I believe so, but
he bounced it off his hip. I mean,
yeah, he just threw a bullet back there to him. Gosh, I mean, I know this is our offense, but this is a night where you still kind of had it in the back of your playbook, the I formation or just something where, you know, you can run something a little bit more simplified, but Holsworth is just having a really, really tough time with that pitch tonight. So Cats are forced to punt here with 6:18 on the clock. Cabrick sees an open on the left side, and he's not going to get there. He is not going to get there. Nice job by number 45, Jay Sutton, to read that all the way. Jay Sutton with a couple really nice plays for Harrison on this defensive set for the Warriors. And now the Warriors with great field position, so if they can get any type of offense moving, Jasper might be in big trouble here.
Harrison will take over on down
That made absolutely no sense to me.
at the Wildcat 46-yard line.
K-Brick last week pinned Memorial deep, and our defense has shown the ability to kind of, hold these guys, not let them get real long sustained drives. It's only 7-0, midway through the third quarter. Play field position. Let's hope Harrison helps us out with some dumb penalties again, because we're putting our defense in harm's way once again.
So Harrison in Wildcat territory at the 46-yard line. Sweep to the outside. And there's an opening. Cuts back the other way, and he loses the football. Did Jasper jump on top of it? I believe they did. So Jasper with a humongous break there. Big time break. So number 22, Jordan Jackson, had a wide open lane to the outside on the sweep. Yeah, he had picked up about, he had picked up about 20 yards on that run before he loses the handle, and now we got another player down, and that is number 11, Tyler Atkins.
Well, luckily they're pushing on his toes, so, but that's one of those to where if you're Coach Sutton, you're upset that the ball was put down on the turf, especially when things are definitely going your way and you don't want to lose this in a game that you're a major underdog. But then on the other hand, you want to see fight out of your players, and that's exactly what Jackson was doing. He was trying to fight for those extra yards. Jasper did a good job of getting in there and stripping it.
So Jasper gets their first turnover of the night. Harrison had 2 fumbled snaps. But they were able to recover both of those, went for big losses. This one, they do lose possession, so Jasper with the football at the 26-yard line, trailing 7-0 with half of the third quarter gone. Left side, there goes Fleck. He sees the big opening, so finally a burst from that backfield for the Wildcats. The offensive line opened up a nice hole there for about 12.
I know that Harrison goes big across that defensive line, and you look at Fleck and you don't see this 210-pound, running back coming out. But, man, he hits that hole so fast. That may be the key to what's going to happen for the rest of the game.
Actually 11 yards gained on the play, 37-yard line now for the Cats, 1st and 10. Fleck's got it. So a couple isolation runs there, this time to the left side, and that goes for a nice gain of 8.
Offensive lineman did a nice job of tying those guys up, but Fleck's hitting the hole so fast that benefits the offensive linemen. They've been chasing these guys. They're a little bit worn down. Fleck's doing a nice job of coming in, changing up the speed of the game.
So 2 carries on this drive, 19 yards for Fleck after going for nothing on his first 2 carries. Now Holsworth pitches out, and that's Leinebach with the football, and he gets across midfield, lowers his head, and a nice pickup of 8 yards and gives the Wildcats a first down.
Nice job of finishing that play. Had the first down. The guy stood up in front of him, and he gave him a little bit of a punch. Now you see Fleck out there trying to fire guys up. That's what we needed.
All right, so 2 Wildcat reserves doing the job right now. Leinebach put in that slot position tonight. Fleck in the fullback spot. Fleck gets it on the right side again. I just really think the quickness is making a big-time difference here for the Wildcats because, again, he has just got a really quick first step there, getting through that hole, and he gained 6 on that run.
What that's probably going to do a little bit later in the game, if Harrison doesn't make the adjustments and they keep putting those linebackers to the inside, Fleck's hitting that outside on the 4-6 hole, which is on the outside of the offensive line. If they start moving those up, that's when you start hitting the dive.
So Landon Fleck really helping the Wildcats with a little surge here, and another great run straight up. Now the offensive line is really able to get things going here. So he'll rush that football. Actually, they said he was down at the 35, but a 6-yard pickup and another first down.
We got the whole fourth quarter and 4:10 of this quarter left, but you're starting to see Fleck try to be the one. Let's hopefully he can continue it.
Fleck to the left side, another big hole. And he just continues to surge forward, but the line doing the job downfield. Heil there, number 64, really putting a pop on it, as well as number 68, the center, Jackson Bauer.
He had his guy 8 yards down the field. Man, he came off like a man possessed. I like it.
So Landon Fleck, 11 yards, 6 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards. Another 8-yard run, an 8-yard run by Leinebach. So the Wildcat offense moving right along. We started at the 26. We're now down at the 27 of Harrison. Fleck on the right side. He's got enough for the first down. So a 3-yard surge there.
What Fleck has shown that he can do a little bit better now. I know Wallace is a bigger body type. But Harrison was there. But Fleck was able to punch his foot or stamp his foot and cut back to the inside. So when the guy from Harrison came from the outside, his momentum gave us another 3 yards.
And I'm starting to see some hands on the hips for Harrison here. I think we're starting to see some conditioning maybe coming into play. Cats just cannot lose the football. Now we get Wallace on the left side, but he does get tripped up. So Wadlington, number 31, credit him with the stop. Gain of 2.
Yeah, he got tripped up, but that was as close as he's been all night of breaking one. So, you know, that's a positive sign going forward. I think without question, especially with how our extra point team performed last week, that we're definitely in 4-down territory.
Second and 8 with the 22.
Actually coming off a little hobbled right there was Cameron Howard, the tight end. So he's trying to stretch things out. Hopefully that's just a cramp. Atkins looks like he's in good shape over here. And so the Wildcats call the timeout as we were letting the clock run down there. So 2:19 on the clock. Jasper still trails 7-0, but we're moving right along at the 22 here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Wildcats, after the timeout there, 2:19 on the clock, 2nd and 8. Here's a counter. Oh, and connects right with this man. He basically knocked Atkins down, and he's actually injured by that collision. So Atkins just got right back into the football game after the injury on the defensive end, and now collision with the quarterback disrupted that counter play.
Goodness gracious, that was there too.
Yes, it was. So it looked like Atkins went a little bit too wide, because it's going to be an inside handoff on that play. So no gain on the play. 3rd down and 8. Cats looking to throw. Holsworth throws it out there. He's got a man, but immediately is connected. And that is number 2 with the stop, Armand Archer. So Cats were able to connect on the pass play, but not enough for a first down, a pickup of maybe 3. So it's down to the 19-yard line, 4th and 5.
4th and 5 at the 19.
It's going to be an interesting call.
4th and 5 Wildcats at the 19-yard line.
Flex had a lot of success getting the ball on the outside part of the tackles. Looks like they got Wallace in there, though.
Play clock down to 5. We got to get this play off. Holsworth on the option, pitches out the Leinebach. He cuts inside. He's got the first down yardage and more. Makes a spin move and takes it all the way in for the touchdown.
That's what you needed right there.
So Mitchell Leinebach getting the opportunity in that slot position with a nice 8-yard run. He caught a 3-yard pass, and then he takes it in 19 yards with a 2nd and 3rd effort. So a big play for the Cats to finally get on the board.
Boy, he got hit hard. That is a heck of a job of keeping your balance. He's seen the black end zone, and he wanted it, and the young man went and got it.
So Leinebach, the junior, 6'1", 165, with an outstanding run.
Jasper's got a lot of guys too close to the field. They just gave us a sideline warning.
Yeah, Jasper decides to go for 2. We saw the struggles they had with the kicking game last week. So they'll need 3 yards to get there, but they're going to put the hash on the left side, so I think we might possibly see a roll out to the right side if they want to use a little bit more field over there.
Well, they're down to 12 on the play clock already.
Need to split out there. 4 seconds. There's the snap. Option. Holsworth sees the opening on the left side. Did he get in?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. So the 2-point conversion. The Cats run the option. Holsworth with the keeper. And Jasper has taken an 8-7 lead. So with 42.2 to go, we'll be back right after this on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Wildcat rushing attack wakes up late in the third quarter there. Landon Fleck with 45 yards on that drive. And Mitchell Leinebach with 27. We'll see what the Cats do here. They actually squib kick it, so it's fielded right there at about the 38-yard line. So actually, instead of just kicking it out of bounds, it gives the Wildcats at least a chance maybe to recover that. So, yeah, so you're right back where you were. But anyway, 1st and 10 for Harrison there. But, yeah, Leinebach with 27 rushing yards on that drive. Had an 8-yard run and then finished it off with an impressive 19-yard run with second and third efforts.
Yeah, he was kind of like a little pinball going through there. He was getting hit from all angles. I think Fleck was his change of speed was big in that. But this right here, kicking the ball like that, just shows you what we have been saying tonight, that Jasper's defense has a lot of trust from this coaching staff. Now they just got to hold up to their end of the deal.
So about 40 seconds left here in the quarter. Defense just needs to hold. Get that football back, but Wadlington had a nice burst there, but a good job by the Wildcats to stop that, led by Cole Trevino, number 51, with a pop.
Nice job of standing the guys up. If you can lock up your offensive lineman, he can't shed you off. The linebackers do a nice job of seeing the hole and attacking it, but our linebackers are not as aggressive as we were in that first half. You know, let them back there, let them get a play. Let them punt the ball. I'm surprised that them punting the ball, we have not got one tonight, because every snap back there has just floated.
Right. All right, so we're going to come to the end of the third quarter. So Cats hold their fingers up for that fourth quarter. They were able to take the lead here in the third, but it's a slim one. It's only 8-7. Jasper leads the Harrison Warriors here on 18 WJTS. Harrison with the football to start the fourth quarter at the 39-yard line, 2nd and 9. Wadlington on the right side. He's just really got some quickness there, and if he gets that open space, he really gets a burst as he's able to get to the 46-yard line, I think is where they're going to spot this one. He's still going to be a little bit short of the first down by about 2 yards, but actually, we got a player down. I don't know if that is Wadlington over there. Sort of looking after him. I think it is. Yes, it is. So that's going to be a big blow to Harrison, and he looks like he's in pain as well, and obviously upset because he's played a really nice football game tonight.
Yeah, he has been really strong. Our defensive backs, they have to be more on the horse and get out there. We're late in the game. The offensive linemen are not getting out there like they did early in the game, so he's out there by themselves. Coach Roller used to teach us back in the day, and I know I keep going back in the day, but when you get those speedy running backs, you have got to turn them back into your pursuit help. So our defensive backs, if they see that it's a for sure sweep to the outside, they have got to get him turned back in to where he can get a little help from his friends.
All right, they're still working on Wadlington over there, so let's take a break here. Jasper leads 8-7 with 11:42 here on 18 WJTS. So Wadlington was able to be helped off there, and it looks like he was able to get up on his own power, so that's good for him.
3rd and short. Harrison's always been going to the right side.
3rd down and a short 2. Now we get a little pass play. He's looking to go downfield. He's got the pressure, and he's able to get to him. Sitting there with a one-arm bring down.
That was such a big play.
Boy, he just showed his quickness there, too, to chase him from behind. So a humongous sack of the quarterback there. And number 56 showing it again tonight.
He was the man on that one. If he doesn't get it, it looks like he's got open pastures to the first down. Excellent job of stepping up. And, you know, you stressed all halftime, we need somebody to step up. It looks like we got a few guys starting to do it.
So third and very short. I'm surprised they decided to roll out pass on that play. Now there's an opportunity for Leinebach again. He fields that football. He gets across midfield, makes another cut. So Leinebach doing the job tonight. I'll tell you what, Mitchell has been called into play tonight, and he is coming through right there, returning it all the way to the 42-yard line.
It's just so contagious. You've seen Fleck come in, get some big gainers, move the sticks, get a little bit of fire in our offense. You've seen Leinebach and how he finished that play. Now you have Senninger come up, excuse me, on defense. It's just contagious.
So a 20-yard return, I'm going to say there. Wildcats 1st and 10 from the 42, right side. Fleck met right there by number 22, Jordan Jackson. So not much gain on that play.
Well, when Fleck came in earlier and he got to the point to where he was getting to that outside tackle, they were taking their linebackers and moving them in, in the middle and stuff in the middle. Now they're starting to take him and move him out a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see if we go back to the gut.
So second down, we'll call it 9. Atkins in motion. Now they run the counter. Again, this time it's Mitchell again. He still stays on his feet. Boy, relentless running by number 84 tonight on punt returns and also on that counter play. Took 19 yards for a touchdown. This one he rushes it all the way to the 29-yard line.
A lot better handoff. Everything seemed to be really smooth. And right now he's making plays. That we needed somebody to step up, and it looks like he wants to be the main guy.
So Mitchell with a 12-yard run there. Fleck on the right side. No, they pitch out to Mitchell. Makes a nice cut, but not much running room as he's met right at about the line of scrimmage. So Cats won't pick up much there, so it's actually a loss of a yard. So that'll be second down and 11. 8:54 on the clock. Jasper with a slim 8-7 lead. After just rolling down the field on their last possession. Set up nicely for this possession with a 20-yard punt return by Mitchell Leinebach. Now they give it to Wallace on the right side. Wallace plows. There we go. Oh, right over the top of number 59, Deion Biggs. And actually, we got a player down for Harrison. I think this might be a cramp for number 22 on the field, Jordan Jackson.
Jasper's got something working right now in putting Fleck in, putting Wallace in. They're so different in the way they run. You get late in the game and you get tired. First thing that starts to go is concentration. And Jasper right now, honestly, is just picked it up, and we're beating them to the punch.
All right, so actually Jordan Jackson's able to help himself off the field there. I think just a slight cramp or something, so he's going to sit down over there. The Cats will get moving again. Clock ticking at 8:15 right now. Third down and 5 from the 24.
Stay with Wallace.
So he continues with the additional effort and stays at it. They have not blown this whistle. And did he get that first down? If he did, that was about the hardest working 5 yards I've seen. Yeah, I think he rushed about 25 yards to get 5 there. Most of it was east and west, but he was determined.
That is beautiful.
First down. So Wallace with a beautiful run there. 2 quick 5-yard runs give the Wildcats a 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line.
That man can take all the credit on that one. He pushed 3 Warrior defenders at least 4 yards.
So Atkins is in a slot this time. He comes in motion, but they give it to Fleck on the right side. Fleck even lowering his head a little bit there, and he's not giving up. So we are seeing some effort here in this running game from the Wildcats. Fleck, Mitchell, Wallace. And the Cats are starting to work some substitutions in and out because I think they're starting to really see that Harrison is really getting fatigued out there. And so the Cats getting fresh bodies on the field to take advantage. And we just got to really punch it in from 14 yards out here. 2nd down and 5.
Just continue to do the same thing. Be aggressive. Stay on your guys. Drive them down. Let's just eat up clock and punch it in.
Again, Fleck on the right side. He sees a burst, and he goes 14 yards for the touchdown. So now it's Landon Fleck's turn. But he got a lot of help in that drive along with that, with Mitchell Leinenbach. And then, of course, the 2 nice runs of 5 yards coming from Will Wallace. So the Wildcat rushing attack on the last 2 drives are just moving right along.
Yeah, they did a nice job. Harrison had one guy that got a hold of his jersey, Fleck strong enough to not let that pull him down. But that was 6 yards down the field. Our line is really coming off. Combination of things. I think they're starting to feel a little bit more confident, and I think Harrison wearing down a little bit.
All right, so Cats are going to kick the extra point. They lead 14-7. They got the 2-point conversion on their last score, and kind of like to see Cabrick, the guy kicking it here. So we had some struggles last week. Snap is there, the kick is up, and the kick is through. So Jasper gets things going here in the late 3rd quarter, and to start the 4th quarter, leads 15-7 over the Harrison Warriors on 18 WJTS. So the Jasper Wildcat offense finally got things figured out with the rushing attack. 15 unanswered points here in this second half to lead 15-7 as Cabrick boots one here, and yeah, they're intentionally kicking it out of bounds.
Absolutely,
there's no doubt about
they
that.
are.
Yep. So this time, just give the Harrison the football at the 35. But you know, that's just the thing. I mean, Harrison, if they can get something going with this passing game, because again, we've seen some good throws by Clements tonight, but he throws a good ball, but he just needs to get back there and just heave one out and see if they can connect with Horn or Archer or somebody.
Yeah, our defensive ends are doing, sending her on the last one, but our defensive ends are doing a little bit better of getting upfield. Defensive linemen are doing a good job of getting upfield. Now, when it's too easy to get upfield, we have a couple of guys that are planting their feet because a screen's coming right over the middle, but our forward progression on our defense is about 2 or 3 yards deeper than what it was in the first.
All right, so 1st and 10 from the 35, 7:06 on the clock. There's a quick hitter out here, so they do get it to Archer this time. Now see again, he makes a break there, and he is up the field, and Atkins knocks him out of bounds, and oh boy, is he okay. He hit the bench over there, my goodness.
Jasper's very fortunate not to get a flag on that one.
He bounces right back up, so he's okay. I mean, Atkins was a little high on the hit, but again, he was still in bounds, so he was just knocking him out of bounds. So good to see that Arch is okay there. So that's a 22-yard hookup on the pass play.
When you have a receiver like that and they catch a ball and there's 2-3 yards in between, you got to break down. You can't take a chance. They're too quick.
Clements got time now. There's the pressure, and Howard gets all over him. So Cameron Howard coming from the outside gets to the quarterback, and again, I think that was just a case of Clements just waiting too long, but of course Howard was untouched.
Yeah, I know you're on the backside, but the rule of thumb is you got to do enough to disrupt them. And Senninger got the deep sack on the other side of the defensive side, so on the outside of the defense. So our defensive end, their progression upfield is really night and day from what it was in the first half.
So that's a huge loss. So pitch out here. Again, we're talking about Ashton Horton. Now he's gets some running room still on his feet as he gets across the 40, and he may have, well, now they're going to say he went out of bounds at the 42-yard line, so he wasn't able to get the first down as it was 2nd and 24.
I think it's pretty easy to see what Coach Sutton's doing. Just get my playmakers in open space, see what happens.
But we got a penalty flag back here at the 43-yard line. So Harrison has seen this happen too many times tonight.
Goodness gracious.
Man, because that was just a nice play, and Asher Horn just got the Warriors where they needed to be, but another penalty.
You kind of ask yourself, okay, that was that looks terrible. He had such a good run. Maybe he had such a good run because that penalty was there. So it gets you to ask that question. But several times tonight, I can come up with 4 of them that Harrison's had really good offensive plays that's been pulled back for holding or personal foul, a little chippiness down there in the trenches.
So instead of a third and about 6, we're looking at 2nd and 33. Trying to set up another play. Now they get a man in open space, and he drops the football. So he found number 13, Hennison, right there. And he just took his eye off the ball and lost it.
When you got to go 33 yards, your defensive backs are always taught, keep the guy in front of you. Harrison's got playmakers. They're trying to get him in open space. That was just a simple case of him looking up the field and not pulling it in, but he had another 6-7 yards. Jasper's got to be a little tighter on that.
So Harrison not doing themselves any favors. An 18-yard pass hookup called back on a penalty, and a drop pass there. There's a lot of open space for number 13, but now the Warriors are going to have to call a timeout. So 15-7, Jasper leads. When we come back, it'll be 3rd and 33 here on 18 WJTS. All right, the Warriors facing a 3rd and 33 from the 34-yard line.
Looks like we're trying to get him in open. There you go. There you
Mitchell Leinebach making the play, and there's a fumble, and the Cats are able to jump on it. Trying to see who picked it up. It looks like that was Trevino, number 51. But a good job by Mitchell Leinebach to put a pop on him. But I think he might have paid a little bit of the price there. He's hobbled up a little bit, but he's going to try to stay on the field. Nope, they're actually going to get a replacement for him. So they'll put Peter actually coming out to play a slot position. But good job. I mean, I'm telling you, what a night coming off the bench tonight for number 84, Leinebach.
He's putting himself in front of all the Wildcats that's picked it up here in the second half as being the main guy. They did the little deep cross in the middle, and then they ran the guy shallow, and he was 2 yards on him. As soon as he caught the ball, man, he put a hurting on him.
So the Cats with the football at the 40-yard line. Give right side to Fleck. Fleck picks up maybe 2 on the play.
I can't imagine this is going to be much different than Coach Lewis, just trying to get a couple of, 3 first downs and just let the clock run out.
The Cats facing a 2nd and 9 from the 39 as we come up on 5 minutes to go here in this football game. Or at least in the 4th quarter. Now let's see, there's a little problem with the exchange on the left side, but actually disrupted right there. Random Phillips untouched and was able to almost take that football away.
He's caused a lot of problems on his side of the ball tonight. For the last few possessions, we've done a pretty decent job of putting one and bringing another hat across and double teaming him to kind of keep him out. But boy, you're right. He got through that line in a hurry.
So a loss of 2 makes it 3rd and 10 back at the 40-yard line. Clock ticking at 4:23. Jasper would just be glad to get out of this mess tonight. It's been a lot better for the offensive side on the last 2 possessions, but Cats are forced to call a timeout there. So 4:17 on the clock, 15-7. Jasper leads, facing a 3rd and 10 when we come back here on 18 WJTS. 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats. We'll see if it's 4-down territory in this situation. Pass play and nothing there as the quarterback is brought down quickly. Jordan Jackson came up from his linebacker spot and was able to get in the backfield and knock Holsworth back for a big sack, so the Cats will be forced to punt.
Make it 4th and 19 at the 49-yard line.
So that's a loss of 9 on the play. So the situation here is, does Harrison bring everybody to try to block this punt here? And now the Cats call another timeout.
Timeout, Wildcats.
Well, Coach Lewis took the play clock down to about 5 seconds before he called that timeout. But, it is a one-possession game, so, just be safe.
All right, let's take a break. 3:39. Jasper will be punting when we come back here on 18 WJTS. All right, back after the timeout here, and Harrison, I think, with some confusion on who needs to be where, but I think they're going to be bringing it. No, they actually didn't. No, they had the opportunity if they would have. But, wow, what a boot there by Kabrick. He was able to hang on to that football, but it's going to go to the end zone. Tell you what, though.
Second week in a row.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He had a huge punt last week after having to go high to take that snap. So, but again, it's a good shift in the field position. So pushes Harrison. They'll have the football at the 20-yard line with 3:30 to go. 15-7 is our score.
Well, they've had some penalties that's really hurt some really big, nice plays that they've had. And I'm sure that's what Coach Lewis is thinking, on kickoffs and on punts, just keep it away from them. But in that particular position, you were correct. They were bringing the house.
Well, they didn't really rush, though.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that because, again, with the high snap, they had an opportunity there, but Clements thrown to the middle of the field. He's got a man, and there it goes. Finally got that hookup they've been looking for, and this is going to go all the way. 80 yards for the touchdown to Armand Archer. So, again, they've been wanting to get Archer and Horn in open space, and finally there's the hookup, and we got ourselves a ball game with 3:18 to go.
Just misjudged the speed. I don't know how you misjudge that speed. He's been showing it all night. But now if we can stand up and bury this two-point conversion, but against teams like that you're going to find in the SIAC, you've got to put teams away when you've got an opportunity because their big play capability, it's from the lowest team to the highest team.
All right, so here come the Warriors. They need the two-point conversion to tie this football game. 15-13 is the score. Quarterback looked like he's making a change there at the line of scrimmage. But he's got an eye backfield behind him. See if he tries to plow Wadlington in there. He's down to 8 seconds on the clock. They give it to Wadlington. He cuts, and he is brought down. So the Cats got the penetration there. And I think that was Kabrick who made the stop. Yes, number 1. Read it all the way and was able to stop Wadlington. So that may have been a game-saving play there. But, again, still plenty of time on the clock. Jasper has just really got to control the football for the last 3:18. But right now it's 15-13. We'll see, actually, if Harrison decides to onside kick or try their luck. But Jasper makes the stop. 15-13 is our score here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Harrison Warriors showing a little bit of overload on the right side, so I think they are going to try for an onside kick here. Not sure if it's a little too early for that or not, but 3:18, if Jasper gets 1 or 2 first downs, that would put the game out of the way. So they are going to kick it, and good job by Atkins. It hit him pretty swiftly there, but he was able to corral it in. So Jasper will have the football at midfield. Again, just 1 or 2 first downs away from sealing this win.
Yeah, Atkins did a really nice job on that. What you're trying to do is when you're kicking the ball off the tee, let it hit the ground a couple of times, and then when the end comes around hard, it hits, bites, and it bounces up over the guy. But Atkins was too quick for that. Did a nice job of securing the ball.
All right, so 3 minutes and 17 seconds is on the clock. Jasper leading 15-13. Harrison with a quick hitter after the Wildcat punt. 80-yard hookup. Clements hitting Armand Archer.
They're bringing everybody up.
So they stack the line of scrimmage, but right there, that's Wallace with a nice power run to the right side. He'll pick up 6.
Now picking up 6 on that puts a little bit on Coach Sutton. He's already used one timeout this half. Now that it appears that Jasper's going to get a first down, you can't burn one right now. Now, if they stop us on a play, I'm sure he's running out there calling timeout. Nice job by Wallace. Nice job by the offensive line.
All right, so we'll actually officially call it a 5-yard run to the 45. Clock continues to run. Cats get the play clock down to 8 seconds, 2:40 on the game. Right side, Wallace, second effort, third effort, fourth effort. Did he lose that football? Yes, he did, and the Harrison Warriors have it. So Wallace was determined to get that yardage, but he did not protect the football, and they were able to wipe it away from him. And now the Warriors with a huge opportunity with 2:30 to go, and they've got the football at the 40-yard line.
All right, defense. I think these young men that knows the task in front of them.
So the Wildcats with way too many fumbles tonight, and that is the 5th lost fumble for the Cats tonight.
I can't imagine they're going to be conservative now. It worked last time. Go right back at it. Atkins better be on his toes back there.
Clements drops back. Cats have got to get pressure on him. And he loses the football, and there's actually a flag there, but I think the quarterback was able to get back on top of it. But we got a holding back here, so that's really going to push him back because that's right there at the 32-yard line. This is going to push him back to the 22.
Is that a penalty that we can decline?
Yeah, we can, absolutely.
Then you got to take the play.
You're right. Yeah, so again, because it's at the 22 anyway.
Yeah.
So they were able to hang on to it, so they're going to decline the penalty. So this will bring up a second down and 28 yards they need.
You know, it doesn't really matter if it's second 27 if our defensive backs let their receivers get behind us, because they sure in the heck got a lot more than 27 yards when they took it to the house. So we have to keep it under control.
Actually, it's at the 23-yard line, so 17-yard loss, but now they hook up. And again, there's the move. And he's able to get out of bounds, so he's able to hook up with Asher Horn there. Give him a little bit more breathing room. But we'll still set up a third and about 13, third and 14, we'll call it.
The Harrison running backs and receivers, as far as tonight goes, has done an outstanding job of when they catch the ball or they're running the ball, of keeping their stiff arm, keeping us just far enough away, and then rising their knees up to where we can't wrap them up. And then they're spinning out, and you get that kind of speed in the open territory, good things can happen for your team. We've got to figure out a way to get up in him before he's got a chance to set up.
So third down and 14. Cats get after the quarterback, but he's able to get away. Throws it downfield, he's got his tight end, and he runs out of bounds. He could have had the first down possibly, but he runs right out of bounds after that snag, pickup of 11. So we'll set up a 4th and 2. So he is able to connect with his big tight end, 6'7", Brooks Thomas.
Boy, that's a nice luxury, you know it?
Absolutely.
Are we moving them back? Is there a flag down?
I think it is.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Man, Harrison is pretty well giving away this football game, or at least their opportunity to possibly win the game. We've seen too many nice pass plays and positive offensive plays for them called back on penalties.
Goodness gracious, they had themselves set up nicely.
So again, another eligible receiver downfield this time.
Well, we did a nice job of flushing him out, and, you know, he's supposed to have the ball out in X amount of seconds. That's what the offensive line are told. Boy, they're really moving them back.
I know. Is that really a 15-yard penalty? Unless it was something else. I don't know.
Goodness gracious.
All right, so well, how can it be second down? It's third down.
Flag on the play.
I wonder if that's an actual flag on.
Well, it's another flag. Well, another penalty on Harrison. So 2 quick penalties.
False start against the Warriors.
Goodness gracious. You get that fumble and you do that. Coach Sutton, boy, you. I seen the illegal procedure call.
It should be third down. Isn't it third down, guys?
Here's what I don't get. That was a third down play, the one where they got the penalty,
Yeah.
and instead lost it down, so that should be fourth down.
Well, but we got it second down on the board right now. It should be third down. All right, we're showing second down, but it was 3rd and 14 when they had that penalty, and then there's 2 quick penalties. So that's going to fall incomplete. So this should be 4th down.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the officials got to get this right.
You can even hear the people out there because we declined the 1 and took the play on that first penalty of it.
Right, because I wrote down it was 3rd and 14 on that pass play. This should be. I don't know why the coaches aren't addressing this at all. It's still showing third down. This is supposed to be 4th down, but right now they're showing 3rd and 34, so. All right, so they get after the quarterback. Now he's got open space. Here he goes. So he's able to get across the 35-yard line and then wrestle. Now there's a penalty. So now Harrison's going to have another 15 yards on top of it.
That particular one, the tackle was made inbounds, and he just went out of bounds with momentum. He didn't throw him down. That's terrible.
19 Clements on the keeper for the Warriors.
Yeah, so Clements looked like he was in trouble there, but then he found open space and
an automatic first down.
yeah, face mask on the Wildcats. Man, so 3rd and 34, which I think should have been 4th and 34, because again it was 3rd and 14 on that one play. But
you know what?
Harrison's still alive, guys.
I'm actually. This game's really interesting. I didn't know that you could actually lose a game in so many ways, but Jasper's pulling out all the tricks on this one.
Right. So face mask penalty sets it now in Jasper territory at the 47-yard line. We got 1:34 to go.
We're actually coming up on the receivers a little bit tighter than what we were. That's interesting.
Clements in trouble this time, but he's able to get away again. Sendinger, and he completes it. I'll tell you what, this quarterback, Caden Clements, is just doing an outstanding job keeping Harrison in this football game.
Yes, he is.
So he's able to connect with
At the 41-yard line.
tight end there, number 81. So Brooks Thomas, who had a play called back a few plays ago, again on 3rd and 14, but regardless, didn't matter because even if it was 4th down, they still got the first down with a penalty. So 6-yard hookup on the play. 1:25 on the clock. Clements throws out there and not able to hang on to the football. Good job by Peter to put contact on number 1, Asher Horn.
Yeah, he forced him out there, and the only thing Horn could do was look down at his toes and make sure that they were in bounds, and when he did that, the ball arrived, and he still almost made a heck of a catch, but it fell harmlessly to the turf.
All right, so that stops the clock at 1:21. Jasper, 2-point lead, 15-13. Harrison on the move. High snap, but Clements able to hang on. He's got plenty of time, and he throws it downfield, and it's complete. And taking it in for the score is number 1, Asher Horn. The Cats went for the interception, didn't knock the football down. Horn was able to out-jump everybody, and Harrison is in a great spot to win this football game. They now lead 19-15.
There's really just keep them in front. Keep them in front. Don't go for the play. Just keep them in front. You got the lead. Make them use as many offensive plays as they can. They've been prone to mistakes all night. For whatever reason, we decided to go for the interception and just gave up potentially the game winner.
So out there to kick the extra point is Luke Watkins. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So Harrison, with 1:11 to go, has taken the lead 20-15 over the Jasper Wildcats. You know, we got pressure on the quarterback, but he was able to elude it, especially on that one run. They were facing a 3rd and 34, and the quarterback was able to scamper out of pressure for 22 yards, but a face mask penalty on the Wildcats gave him 1st and 10. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone and have the lead 20-15.
You know, I look at this game and all the way up to this point, minute 11 left. But it's really, when you look at both teams, it's like, who can play the worst? Harrison's had several good plays pulled all the way back. We've had, I think, 5-6 fumbles tonight, silly penalties, face mask at the end killed us. I mean, we're doing everything we can to give this game to Harrison, and they just may take advantage of it.
Well, I just tell you what, man, this is going to send shockwaves throughout the conference tonight. After Jasper with a dominant performance against the Evansville Memorial Tigers last week. Completely different situation tonight. With 1:11 to go, trailing by 5, 20-15. So Fleck has it. Looking for some running room, gets to the outside. If he can get there, on a run, and he's still on his feet across the 40-yard line. So that helps the Wildcats with better field position. But again, we're going to need a passing game, which has been non-existent tonight, to pull this win off, as there's only 1:04 on the clock and Cats trail by 5.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. We've only got 2 timeouts left, so if you do throw the ball, you got to get the first down, get the clock stopped. If you're within the chains, if you only get 7-8 yards, you got to be on the sideline so you can step out. This is going to be really interesting.
And that's the thing with Jasper, I mean, especially with the passing game. I mean, we go under center every play. All right, he is back in the shotgun this time, though. So Holsworth's going to have to pull out some miracle plays, but he can't with that kind of pressure. But he gets to gets some running room to the outside, gets across the 50, down to the 45-yard line. That will stop the clock at 55 seconds for the first down.
You got to get up on the line. Get up on the line, spike it.
So Holsworth, wait until they set the chains before they start this clock. And they did that really before they set it, so not much time went off. 52.9 it's showing now. So that'll set up a second down.
This brings a question up. When you spike the ball, it kills the clock.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you do not get outside the tackle box and the ball does not get past the line of scrimmage, that's intentional grounding.
Yeah, but
I've just never been able to understand it.
No, I think that's just kind of an assumed rule that they allow now, is that you just throw it down. All right, so second down and 10. 52.9 seconds on the clock. Holsworth throws it out there. He connects. That's Atkins with the football. He's going to be short of the first down. No, they're actually stopping the clock. No, it is a first down. So a 10-yard hook up there.
Nice job of the offensive line keeping pressure off him.
All right, so clock stops now with 48 seconds. So second down. So the ball's at the 34-yard line. So the Cats in striking distance, but they need a touchdown to win.
Second and 10, Wildcats at the 34-yard line.
You know, Holsworth also has to understand that if he's back in the shotgun and something is not there, and he's starting to get pressure. He's got to get rid of it. He's got to bury it somewhere.
Right. So 2nd down and 10. Holsworth looks to his right. He's got pressure. He's going to run out of it. He's going to have to get out of bounds, and he does. Maybe gains a couple yards on the play, but
nice play. Get out of bounds, stop the clock.
So he'll be at the 34, so gain of 1.
Gives us an opportunity to go back in the huddle, get things under control.
Actually, no gain on the play, so it's 3rd down and 10. 43.5 on the clock.
Down to 10 on the play clock.
Cats run the option. So that's Peter with the football. He cuts up, and he's going to get the 1st down yardage, so they're going to have to stop this clock. It actually stops at 36.4. He stayed in bounds, so this is going to be brief.
Boy, what a gutsy call.
So basically they gain right at 10 yards. Clock should be running. Oh, we got penalty flags now.
The referee started it. The chain gang was not set up. These guys over here had their hands up to.
Yeah, so that's an illegal procedure.
Well, you had 2 officials doing this different things. You had the guy in the white hat, which I understand he's the main kahuna. He started the clock, but you also had the side judges out here with their hands up.
Right. All right, so they haven't walked the yardage off yet. Jasper's coming out of the huddle already. So that's going to move it back to the 29-yard line. So 30.8 seconds on the clock.
And if I recall right, we've got 2 timeouts left.
I'm not really sure. I think we might only have 1. I'm pretty sure we called 2 timeouts, if even that. All right. So the official's trying to get things set here. Don't know what this is all about, if it has something to do with the clock.
Well, when you get into a 1st and 15, your receiver's got to get a little bit further down the field, which, of course, takes longer to get the ball released. Harrison has been playing more of a safety prevent type defense. You're going to wonder, being that it's 1st and 15, if they're going to bring heat.
All right, so I don't know if this is a clock situation here, but this is taking some time here. I guess they put 2 seconds on, so it's 32.8 on the clock, but would that restart the clock, though, because it was an offensive penalty? So we'll see if they do restart the clock here. Cats weren't able to ground the football. Yeah, that's going to be the case. They're going to start the clock. Yep. So he's got to. Cats going to throw it. Throw out here. Atkins wasn't looking for it, but look at Cabrick wide open downfield. Did you see that?
Yes, he was open.
Well, he threw it to Atkins. Atkins wasn't looking for the football, but Cabrick was wide open. That would have been a touchdown. All right, well, falls incomplete. That stops it at 26.8 on the clock. 2nd down and 15. Jasper trails by 5. Holsworth rolls left, throws downfield. He's got a man, and Atkins is hit right away, and the ball falls incomplete, so that will not go. And he took a pop from behind. So an outstanding defensive play. I think that was number 2, Armand Archer.
Yeah, he definitely came up and dislodged it.
All right, so now we're facing a 3rd down and 15. 20.9 on the clock.
What you're looking for here is getting 7, 8, 9 yards, and getting yourself in a much more manageable situation to where if you do have to scramble out, you don't have to go that far.
All right, looking downfield, and it falls incomplete.
The only thing that saved the flag on number 1 there was number 15 getting his hand on the ball. That was nice teamwork by that defensive backfield.
All right, so he was looking for Cabrick at times, so it pretty well comes down to this play, I believe. Cats are 29 yards away from a score. Facing a 4th and 15. Clock stopped at 17 seconds right now. And obviously we must not have any timeouts left, or if we do, we're still holding on to it. So this may be ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Holsworth. And there's the pressure, and he's brought down. Game over, ladies and gentlemen. The Harrison Warriors have come in and knocked off the number 5 Jasper Wildcats on their home field. And they will win this football game 20-15. Untouched right there. Tanner Yarbrough making the play to seal the game for the Warriors.
Good game plan, good play call on the defense. What they did was they held him back. The receiver is supposed to pick him up. The tight end is supposed to pick him up if he shoots in. He held his spot. The receiver released. He had a delay blitz. Worked out well for him.
And actually the Warriors must have had a timeout left. I thought they used them all, but they're taking a quick timeout just to make sure everybody's settled. And
all right.
No mistakes whatsoever to finish this game. 11 seconds on the clock. But, yeah, I mean, it was just basically a situation where the Cats kind of got things rolling there for a couple drives to finally what looked like they were in control of the football game. But, again, Harrison's got that big play capability, and they took advantage of it a number of times tonight.
When we get the lead, the rule of thumb is keep everything in front of you. Just don't give up the big play. That's what teams that struggle, and Harrison struggled last year. They struggled in the first game this season. That's what gets them back in the game. And twice we got burned by trying to make the spectacular play instead of the smart play.
Yeah, and too many times it seemed like on his pass plays we were going for interceptions instead of just knocking the ball down.
That's what I'm talking about. It's just make the play. Keep it simple.
All right, so that's the final snap, and the Harrison Warriors come in with a monumental win on their part to knock off the Jasper Wildcats 20-15. So again, if there's any clue as far as you have to play a full football game, you know, again, we needed to see 60 minutes of football tonight, and the Harrison Warriors just made enough plays to pull it off.
And you're right. What Jasper got as far as playing Jasper football was the third quarter and a little bit of the fourth quarter. Other than that, it's like nobody wanted to win the game out there. And the team that made the fewest mistakes, you know, I know that's easy to say, it usually wins the game. But, I mean, there were so many mistakes on both sides. I just, you know, we used to do back in our day when you'd fumble the ball all week long, you had to carry the ball. You know, bring that back. Tonight, I have never seen us so – we just were not Jasper tonight.
Well, and as good as the pass defense was last week, it just really totally different effort, especially like in that fourth quarter. You know, again, for them to just pretty well come up with humongous plays. You know, and the thing is, Harrison got themselves in a lot of trouble in situations with bad snaps over the quarterback's head. You know, so many penalties and all that. You know, you get in that situation where it's 3rd and 14, and again, I know that last play should have been 4th down, but regardless, they still converted it. But still, it was 3rd and 14. They connect on that pass play to the tight end, number 81, Brooks Thomas, but then they have 2 penalties, not only on the play, but then a follow-up penalty, facing a 3rd and 34, and we get pressure on the quarterback, but he's able to get away for a 22-yard run, the face mask penalty right there. So then, you know, that basically gives them the first down, and next thing you know, they're in the end zone on a touchdown pass, and that was the game.
When people ask me about this game, the only way I can describe it to them is Harrison said, here you go, here's the game. Jasper said, no thanks. Here's the game back to you. It's been a long, long time since I've seen a Jasper team be this careless with the football, and that's what it was. It was careless.
Well, let's just take a look at it. 6 fumbles tonight, 5 lost. Harrison had 5 fumbles, 2 lost. So, you know, again, they had their struggles as well, but look at the penalty numbers here. Harrison, 13 penalties for 90 yards. Jasper, 5 for 39, but 13 penalties for 90 yards, and they're able to pull off the win. So, again, Jasper had them pushed back a number of times, but, again, they just would not give up. And I'll tell you what, the resiliency of number 19, Caleb Clements, to just keep every play open and just continue to battle and, you know, throwing the football down the field. All you got to do is get the ball down, and you've got guys like Asher Horn and Armon Archer. They can haul it in, and, you know, they just got those opportunities and took advantage of them.
There's a reason they call them playmakers. You know, get the ball to your athletes out in the open field. If Jasper's strength on defense in the first game and for most of the third quarter and really for most of the game has been our pursuit. What Jasper has gotten killed on tonight is when Harrison was successful on getting one-on-one with their athletes. That's what got us. And,
right.
You know, you had made a comment that I think really stands out. This is proof positive of the old saying is you got to play the whole game.
Right. There's no doubt about it. Well, in the big play, the 41-yard pass play from Clements to Asher Horn. You know, again, with showing here with 2:30 on the clock on the stat sheet that they gave me, but still, Cats weren't able to. You know, we got down in position there to maybe make some plays, but again, you know, the passing game is, you know, especially with Holsworth, you know, again, he was thrown into the starting position tonight, and you know, it's just tough to do. It's tough to pull that off, you know, especially when we are a running attack, and you know, we basically used the run to open up the pass and all that, and so it was just a little too much to overcome there. So.
Yeah, their game plan was stack the box. You know, they had 8 guys in the box, bringing their linebackers up. They were towards Jasper's last drive until that very end. Their whole defensive team was 7 yards off the ball. So they were just stacking the box and saying, you know, you're not going to beat us with the run. We dare you to throw it. And evidently that was the right call.
Well, the Wildcats, the rushing attack was there as far as the numbers. 51 rushes for 250 yards, 4.9 average. You know, and again, that was spread out with the number of guys. Will Wallace was 64 yards, 62 yards for Landon Fleck. Mitchell Leinebach with what a game he contributed tonight, 6 carries for 42 yards and a score. And but still, just the turnovers. You cannot win a football game if you're going to lose 5 fumbles, and that just proved the difference tonight.
Yeah, this is one of those that the game film finds the wood burner, and you just start off fresh. And boy, I tell you what, I hope these injuries are not too major for Jasper, what they got tonight, because the task does not get any easier going down to the Wrights Bowl next week.
Absolutely not. So, you know, Wrights, who manhandled Harrison last week, 39-8, and that's our next appointment, or our next opponent, and Harrison wins this game tonight, 20-15. So, but just final look at the numbers. You know, let's give credit to where credit's due. I mean, again, their quarterback Clements, 8 of 17 for 183 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he just did not give up. And I think that's the difference in the ballgame.
Keep the play alive. Anything can happen as long as the ball's alive.
All right, so Jasper falls to 1-1. Harrison improves to 1-1. So the Cats will be on the road at the Wrights Bowl next week, and that will be a 7:30 kickoff. I believe it's 7:30 Eastern time, but check your local listings for that. And Harrison will be at home against Evansville North. So for Bob Welp and Jeremy Marcos on the video, my name is Craig Schneider. Jasper falls tonight, 20-15 to the Harrison Warriors on 18 WJTS. Good night.